Okay. Satyavati ji work ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ live streaming.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. It's saying meeting is now streaming on live.
Okay, sure. Then start.
Hari Om everybody. All the best. Jai Shri.
Yom.
All the best. ಏನೋ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಅಂತೀರಾ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. What you know will come out.
For our own benefit.
ಸತಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
You are a good speaker.
ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾ ತರ, ಸತ್ಯ ತರ ನಿರ್ಗಣವಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು.
Yashmita, you mute that YouTube. ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay.
What you know will come out.
For our own benefit.
ಸತಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ mute ಈಗ.
You can start.
All of you are natural speakers. There is really there's nothing special that you have to do here. Not a problem. Okay, let's start. Yashmita, prayer.
Yeah, sure. Hari Om. Opening prayers and we start ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅಂತರ್ಜ್ಯೋತಿಃ ಬಹಿರ್ಜ್ಯೋತಿಃ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಗ್ಜ್ಯೋತಿಃ ಪರಾತ್ಪರ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರೇವ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಃ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಃ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಯೋತಿಃ ಶಿವೋಸ್ಮ್ಯಹಂ ಗುರುಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಗುರುವಿಷ್ಣು ಗುರುದೇವೋ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಃ ಗುರು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತಸ್ಮೈ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರವೇ ನಮಃ. ನಾರಾಯಣ ಸಮಾರಂಭಾ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯಮಾಂ ಅಸ್ಮದಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಪರ್ಯಂತಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಗುರು ಪರಂಪರಾಂ. ಸದಾಶಿವ ಸಮಾರಂಭಾ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯಮಾಂ ಅಸ್ಮದಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಪರ್ಯಂತಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಗುರು ಪರಂಪರಾಂ. ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಪುರಾಣಾನಾಂ ಆಲಯಂ ಕರುಣಾಲಯಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದಂ ಶಂಕರಂ ಲೋಕಶಂಕರಂ. Hari Om to all. Today the topic is Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara. So we have we have all the participants joined in. We'll go with the first speaker, Jayashri ji, who will be talking about the introduction of Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara. And before we start, we would need a timekeeper. Anybody wants to volunteer?
No, they themselves can see there, no?
Illa
See
ma.
there.
It's difficult. Maybe I will do it. Don't worry. 5 to 6 ಅಂತಾನೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
Okay.
5 to 6 minutes.
ಅದು indications ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾಂಚಿ? Like what will be the indications?
I will have to say 5
Okay.
and then I'll say.
Okay, sure. Okay. Then we can start. Jayashri ji, you can start.
Yes.
Hari Om.
You can put on your video.
Video. Yeah.
I will say start and then you can start. Start.
Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hari Om Guruji. With your blessings, guidance and grace, I will be speaking on Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara today. According to Advaita Darshana, Jiva, or the individual soul, identifies with body, mind and intellect out of ignorance when it is governed by avidya. It thinks, acts and enjoys on account of ignorance. It thinks I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the all-knowing one because of the wrong identification. This leads to a lot of misery and bandhanas. I was a girl of 16 years. I wanted to study in a reputed college and graduate. I wanted to get a good job and earn money and then get married to a nice person and have a good family and be happy. Then I wanted children. Then I wanted to build a house. I wanted them to get married, have grandchildren. My need for happiness went on increasing. After reaching one stage, I wanted to go to the next stage. There was no satisfaction. So I was chasing infinite happiness out of finite material object, leading to misery and bandhana. See, The ego, the individual soul, thinks the ego has three states of being. Jiva, the ego or the Jiva has three states of being. The one is waking state, which Jiva enjoys through its gross body. It is reflection of consciousness in the mind, that is Chidabhasa, leading to the waking world. All that is known, unknown universe in the manifest and unmanifest form is appearing as waking world in the gross body. Jagat comes into being as soon as I wake up in the morning and open my eyes, and ends when I go back to sleep. So this also keeps changing from morning to afternoon to night, and the seasons keep changing, and this is anitya. The second state of ego is dream state. As soon as Jiva goes to sleep, the dreams body is enjoyed by its subtle body. It starts enjoying the dream body and a dream world, which keeps changing from moment to moment, which is also anitya, which is also asatya, because it keeps changing. In deep sleep state, there's no world to be experienced, and it enjoys pure bliss, that is sathya-ananda. Jagat is the world. Coming to Jagat, Jagat is the world in which Jiva operates and exists. Other than Jagat, there is no other world for Jiva to experience. And Jiva is the experiencer, and Jagat is the world, is the experience. As there is duality, here also he goes into misery. And this world Jagat is provided for Jiva to experience by the Almighty Ishvara. He is the one, he has the capacity. Ishvara is the one who makes this Jagat appear for Jiva in gross, subtle and causal body forms in its waking state and sleep state and deep sleep state. He is the creator, he is the sustainer, he is the doer, he is the destroyer, and he can dissolve this world at any given appropriate time, by floods, by tsunami, by anything. Or he can summon gifts like rain, shine, sun, everything is Ishvara. He is the power which runs Jiva and Jagat combination together. Ishvara means God, Lord, Supreme Being who rules our cosmos, and Jiva maintaining order by his Maya Shakti. Jiva and Ishvara come together in all these three forms. In fact, Jagat is none other than the Vishwarupa of the Almighty Brahman. There is no clarity for Jiva in any of these three states. Bombeya Tapaya, E Brahmandave, Adevanaduva, Bombeya Tapaya. So, what is the solution for this? Realizing one's true nature as Satchitananda, I am Brahmasmi, by Atmajnana, by the method of self-inquiry, by Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, under the guidance of Brahmanishta, Brahmavarishta Sadguru, is the only solution to realize your Atman and your Brahman alone. Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara is Brahman alone, just like bubble, wave and foam is nothing but ocean. Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara is the manifestation of Brahman in this world. Upanishads declare Tatvam Asi. You are not different from Brahman. You are just as wave, bubble and foam is nothing but water. Jiva also becomes one with Brahman when it realizes it is Atma. And I am Satchitananda, that is, I am existence, consciousness, pure bliss. So consciousness alone is the witness of all my experiences in the world. When Jiva identifies with BMI, when I identify with, I myself identify with BMI, I'm a Jiva. When I identify myself with my inner consciousness, I become Shiva. So Jiva to Shiva is only by identification. And so you as I'm Satchidananda, I'm unlimited Ananda, I'm existence, pure consciousness. So I need not seek happiness from outside things. I'm pure bliss, and the solution for all this is to realize I'm Brahman, and through Bhakti Marga, Jnana Marga, and Karma Marga, I can realize all this. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayashree ji. And for Purva Pakshi, Mamta ji,
He's not here today.
Not here today.
Anyone has a question, you can ask.
Yeah.
No questions for Jayashree ji? Can go for self-evaluation, I think.
Yeah, Jayashree ji, if you can go with the self-evaluation first.
Can you hear Jayashree?
I can hear, but my volume is so low. Volume is very, very low for me. Somebody called and my volume went. Please tell again.
Self-evaluation. How do you think it was? How do you think?
Yeah, I felt I was not very confident. I was looking at my notes. Though I knew the subject well, I was not very confident. I was repeating myself.
Not at all. You were not. You were very good. Everything was there. You defined all the terms and you connected them all together. Yes, you were looking at notes, but that's perfectly all right. Like you said, you know what you're talking about. And it was a very perfect conclusion also. You are very fluent. I liked your talk very much. It was very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Jayashree.
will
Really good.
listen to the recording again and see how I can evaluate
It was quite fine. It was very nice. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jayashree.
Anything you want to add to that, Yashmita? Any points?
No, Purnamaji. It was like the talk was very well connected, like concluded well, like how we can go about with the learning that we take from the Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara. So it was a nice talk.
Well done. Well done. You can only get better from here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it was well within the time also. So
Thank you. I had more quotations to quote, which I forgot. That is okay.
You carry on then. Yeah.
Yeah. Next time. Thank you.
thank you,
I'll
Jayashree.
switch off and come again, correcting my volume, please.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All
I'm
right.
here till 6:30.
Carry on.
And the next speaker, Gayatri ji, you wanna go next?
Sure.
I'm audible, Ishmita?
Yes, Gayatri ji.
Start.
Okay, hi. Topic is sathya-mithya viveka. So, as Adi Shankara says, Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So if we see, before we get into this, I mean, Mithya is like, very obvious where it appears to be there, but it's illusory, it's temporary, appearing and disappearing, not continuous during the three states, hence it's called Mithya. All these are the typical definitions of Mithya. So how does if we go around this word called Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, a typical journey, if I take my case, so how does it go when before starting this journey, it's exactly the reverse. So Jagat is Satya and Brahman is Mithya. So that's how I start. And then with the teaching of Vedanta, I understand that, there is a word called Mithya. So whatever I'm thinking to be as Satya is actually Mithya, and whatever is supposed to be Satya, Brahman, which I was not aware of, that slowly starts, coming into our life. I mean, these two words, Satya and Mithya, the discrimination starts. So the seeker is in between. Okay, there is Satya, but still the Mithya appears to be Satya for me. So kind of in between. And then as the spiritual journey progresses, so everything what I thought to be Satya becomes Mithya, and what I was not aware of Satya, I mean, what I consider to be as a, kind of illusory stuff, Brahman, becomes Satya for me. So this word Mithya is the crux of Vedanta. It's the crux of enlightenment and liberation for a seeker. Mithya holds a very, I mean, the word Mithya, when we start understanding it, it starts giving a immense relief in life. Because the entire waking world, which we give so much importance to the waking world, which is, driving our life, which is driving our health, mental condition, emotions, everything. When you know that the entire waking world is Mithya, I mean, the entire seriousness of the life starts going down, and then starts this karma yoga. Everything becomes karma yoga, because now you know that whatever I'm seeing as world as it is, the essence of the entire world is Brahman, and hence whatever I'm doing, whatever is being done through this body, whatever is being done for the world, everything is Brahman. And that's where the attitude of a karma yogi starts in life. And what else is there about Mithya to be told? The general definitions we all know, so I don't have to tell about the general definitions. That's all, nothing else. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
2 minutes remaining, if you wish. 1.5 minutes.
1.5 minutes.
Could give some examples of how to use sathya-mithya viveka, nithya-anitya viveka.
So the typical example would be the dream analogy, where, so inside the dream, everything appears so real, and then, the lot of emotions also happen inside the dream. So when you wake up from the dream, it's like, a huge relief that it was just a dream. So as you go deep into this, as you understand and start, when the conviction develops that Jagat is Mithya, so the same we start applying to the waking state. And then everything, whatever I see now, whatever I took as a reality, including the I, me, mine concept, and the relationships with the I, me, mine, everything starts losing its value. And you start feeling the sense of freedom, mental freedom starts setting in. So yeah, the typical example of Mithya is the dream. How I take everything real as a dream. In the dream, the same thing is happening in the waking state. So that's what I have understood, that Mithya is the crux of enlightenment. Understanding Mithya.
Okay.
For Purva Pakshi Padmaja ji, you have any questions for Gayatri ji?
No, I don't have any questions. I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. And Gayatri self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation, I mean, I don't think it was very structured talk. I feel like everybody knows about Satya-Mithya here, so I didn't know. I didn't go into details or anything. So I think I was focusing on the topic. I didn't deviate. I couldn't take much shlokas or anything from Upanishads or any Vedantic texts. So maybe next time I'll do a better job.
Gayatri ji. Like the talk structure was there, like even though you said it wasn't there, but the flow went really well. Yeah, and examples, and then Vaniji asked you had put in, so I think it concluded well. Vaniji or Purnima-ji, any other feedback?
Vaniji, you go for feedback.
Gayatri, I was very happy to see you in the morning with the beautiful green background also. We can see through the window behind you. The approach was an interesting approach because you did not begin with textbook definitions. You started with what is mithya, by defining what is mithya. But I think one point could have been included that satya means it should have no birth, no death. No change came through very well. No birth, no death, that part. Also, while quoting the Shankara's famous Vakya, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, the second line also could, I thought you will bring it in at some stage, second part of the talk. Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha.
Yeah.
So that would have actually completed the talk beautifully. Because definition of mithya went well when you said it's like a dream, and understanding mithya is the single most important thing that you brought out really well. Because without understanding that it is mithya, there is not even any mokshitva or any kind of liberation even possible for a seeker. So it is that single most point that came out beautifully. But bringing in the second part of the quote, which is very important, that also would have completed why do you need the viveka? Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha. Neti, neti and iti, iti, both would have come. So I think that would have been very important. Then that jiva, or the waking personality, to which we give so much importance, is also part of the mithya jagat.
Yeah.
That also could have been brought in. But I was so happy to see that you are relaxed while talking, you are comfortable, or you are already a treasury of knowledge. It is there inside you waiting to come out. So I'm not much bothered about the content part, to be, what shall I say, frank. For you, it is just that how much should be expressed. So don't assume that people in the audience know something. Talk to somebody like you do on Quora and all, somebody who may not know about it, who knows nothing about Vedanta. Assume that the audience knows nothing about Vedanta and you talk like that. Don't address the present audience. That is not our target audience. A target audience will be somebody who knows a little bit about Vedanta or doesn't know anything about Vedanta. If you can address such a person, then you can address anyone.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Sure.
But amazing progress in terms of being very comfortable and being ready to share, enjoying the sharing actually. So the other part will automatically come because your understanding is super deep. So don't have to worry.
Thank you, Maniji.
Yeah, thank you, Vaniji. Great inputs. Thank you. Thank you, Ashmita.
Thank you, Gayatri ji. And the next speaker is Padmaja ji. Yeah.
Namaskaram. Let's start.
Start.
Okay. So my topic is atma-anatma viveka. So before I go for the topic, I just wanted to know that, I'll take one shloka from chapter 4. Chapter 4 is all about Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Okay. The shloka number 18 in chapter 4 says, Karmanya karmaya pashet karmani cha karmaya sa buddhimana manusheshu sayukta kritasana karma krita. The translation goes like this. One who sees inaction in action and action in action is intelligent among men, and he's the transcendental position. He's in the transcendental position, or he's a yogi, although he is engaged in all sorts of activities. So if you look at this particular verse, in this verse, Krishna talks about atma-anatma viveka. So let's see what's the difference between atma-anatma viveka. So the atma means the higher I, and anatma in the lower I in jivas. So what is karma? Karma is action. Akarma is inaction or lack of action. So let's take few examples for this. So a passenger is in a running train. He mistakes the nearby trees to be moving in the opposite direction. And if you see, this is action in inaction because there is no action there. The trees are not moving. There's an inaction, but he feels, he mistakes it as the trees are moving in the opposite direction because he himself is in a running train. So this is action in inaction. Let's take another example. A man on the shore, he's sitting on the beach or a shore. He mistakes a boat sailing far away as being motionless because it's too far. Even though the boat is in motion, he thinks it's not in motion. So the boat is in action, but this person thinks, the person on the shore thinks this is not moving. So this is inaction in action. So if you look at these two examples, action in inaction, inaction in action, in nature, actions and inactions do not always present themselves in true perspective. So they don't they present themselves in the true perspective. It's our own assumptions that goes, in our own thought process. So if you look at it, an ignorant person, he superimposes. There are two words that I would like to bring it here. One is kartitva and one is bhoktritva. Kartitva is authorship or achievement, and bhoktritva is... Did someone say something?
No, carry on.
Okay. So kartitva is authorship or achievement. Bhoktritva is enjoyment or trinity. So an ignorant person superimposes these two aspects, kartitva and bhoktritva. These properties, kartitva and bhoktritva, the properties of anatmas. And he'll superimpose these properties on the atma, which is the higher self. So ignorant person thinks of himself as the body. Now I rest, now I am working, now I am doing this, now I am talking, imposing the functions of prakriti on atma, mistaking the non-self as self. And this is nothing but ego. So an egoistic person or the ignorant person may be abandoning all his worldly duties, but he's a doer of karma. Even in this inert state, when he's not doing, he's still a doer of karma. So the karma is always there. And again, this is known as inaction in action. So if you look at it, a jnani, a jnani differentiates the atma from anatma. He knows that atma remains as a witness, as a sakshi. Even though his body works continuously, he is a sakshi. Any karma that he does is with Ishvara Samarpana Buddhi. And he accepts the phala as Ishwar Prasada. It may or may not have the results as he has expected, but still he expects that, he accepts it as a prasada. He does all the karmas without ego. And again, this is inaction in action. So let's look at it in Mahabharata, Sri Krishna and Arjuna. We'll present two different contrasting pictures in the battlefield. Arjuna drops his bow and arrows, foreseeing implications of war, unwilling to fight, renouncing his duty due to a sense of doership. He thinks that I am doing this. If I fight, I'll be killing them. And this miserable Arjuna embodies action and inaction. So he doesn't want to do it. He's unwilling to fight. Now look at Krishna. As a charioteer of Arjuna, he drives the chariot, controlling the horses with his left hand, his right hand in Chin Mudra, ready to impart the self-knowledge to Arjuna. Without a sense of doership, the calmness of Krishna's face indicates his steady mind. Now, Krishna is revealing Atma, Akarta, Abhokta through his personal life. Actions belong to the personal physical body. Thus, Krishna's actions are in inaction. Having said this, I'll give you another example of Atma. Atma is that like electricity. It's the consciousness, Nirguna, higher nature, Akarta. Whereas Anatma are the electrical gadgets. And we think we are the gadgets, but we are actually running because of the electricity. The gadgets are running because of the electricity. So the Atma is the electricity, whereas Anatma is the gadgets. Body-mind complex is this Anatma. The limited self is the Anatma. The Saguna, the lower guna, in motion, what is always there, is the Anatma. The lower I, the Karta, is the Anatma. So, at the background, we should always remember that we are the Atmas, not the Anatmas. We are the electricity, not the electrical gadgets. Though we are functioning through the gadgets, that is the process we need. So, we need to make the best utilization of gadgets through this electricity. So, Sa Buddhimana. So, I would like to say here, two more examples. Let's say real life examples. A beggar is hungry and you give food to him. Now there is an action. I am giving food to him. And I say, oh, I did this. This is something the ego that comes in. However, when you have that feeling that I have served a needy person and this is I'm doing with Ishvara Samarpana Buddhi, I have no doership in that. In that, though I have done an action, there is still an inaction. It is called inaction in action. Let's go to another example. A person had a fight at his home with his wife and very angry and frustration. He comes to you, outside in the outside world and just shouts you and blames you for something you hadn't done, which you know that I haven't done it, but he's shouting at me. At that time, if you react to that particular situation that he's shouting, so I will shout at. He's shouting because he had a fight and he just, very frustrated. At that time, if I keep my silence and I respond instead of reacting in the situation, which is a better option, in that I did not act, I did not react, there is an inaction, but there is an action in this inaction. So there is no need for us.
7 minutes over. 7 minutes over.
Okay, so I'll just conclude.
Yeah.
Just with the one line. So in that we see that Sa Buddhimana, Ajnani knows that in the presence of the actionless higher I, the Ahankara is the Karta and Bhokta. He detaches himself from this Ahankara and Mamkara and shifts from the lower to the higher. And such kind of beings are the wisest of all beings. He's a real yogi who realizes that higher I is Akarta and hence Abhokta. Thank you so much.
Very nice.
Thank you, Padmajaji. And for Purva Pakshi, Indraji, do you have any questions for Padmajaji?
No, nothing actually. She was more elaborate and clear.
Okay.
Yashmita, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, right, Riji.
Yeah, Padmaja, the topic was atma-anatma viveka, right? So there is this common question, which is all, it's so the question is like a standard question when we say Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, so everything is Brahman, that is Atma. How does something be Anatma? How does this Atma-anatma fit into that statement, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma?
I think Brahman is everywhere. So Jiva and Atma over there. So everything, it's all that how we look at it. That's what is my understanding. Everything is there. You do right, that is also God. You do wrong, but then once that awareness is there, we are into a jnani mode. We are into a higher self. And that's how it. Otherwise, everything is God.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gayatriji. And Padmajaji, would you like to go with self-evaluation?
Gayatriji, maybe you could elaborate on the answer.
I'm sorry?
I'm asking Gayatri ji to elaborate on the answer briefly.
Gayatri has to answer her question, is it?
Yeah, so that there is clarity for Padmaja ji.
Right.
Briefly, if she answers that question, for all the listeners and Padmaja ji, there will be a little clarity.
Vaniji, please, you give an answer. No.
No. No, actually, it will be very helpful. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Purnima ji, please.
Okay, because we are running out of time.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, see, Krishna in the Gita declares that there are two natures of his. One is higher nature, one is lower nature. The higher nature is para prakriti, is consciousness alone, completely atma. The lower nature, which is apara prakriti, is anatma. So unless is anatma in the sense that which is non-self and which is changing, impermanent, and all the other stuff that goes with mithyatva, right? So it is God only, it is Krishna. Both atma, anatma, both are Krishna only, because without Krishna there is no, without atma there is no anatma either. So anatma is the dependent reality, atma is the independent reality. That could be the brief answer. That is how everything is Brahman alone. Atma, Anatma, both are Brahman. Brief answer. Is that okay, Vani?
Perfectly okay, Purnima. Super.
Yeah, sure. Also, for the seeker to see, first neti is required.
Yes.
Not this. So the seeker gets clarity. Then once the seeker is jnani, established in the self, then when you are the self, everything is, you see that everything was always the self. But this viewpoint, like Padmaja said in the beginning, but a little elaboration on that while answering would be good, like what happened just now. Yeah, great.
Is that your evaluation also, Vani?
No, you please carry on.
Illa, ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿ. Continue evaluation ಮಾಡಿ.
I think it was a very good talk, except the time frame got missed out. I was wondering whether Padmaja, you have some device with you to look at the time in front of you.
I think while the speaker is going on, the time is something that they will not over. Jaldi ho gaya. There's time. So I think the timer person should, have that.
No, don't depend.
1 more minute. No, just before 1 more minute to say, maybe they will consolidate what to talk in that 1 minute or what not to talk. So maybe that can be done.
A good thing for all of us to do would be, because when some event or something is happening, nobody will give you a signal.
You're right. You're right.
It's good to get used to having a table clock in front of you, or put your phone on timer.
Yes, we will make a note of it. Maybe we'll do a preparation with the timings next time.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. And also I was observing your flow is excellent. Your understanding is great. The examples, you had included so many wonderful examples. But you were reading out the examples and very comfortably, talking extempore on the tattva. So I don't know why that was happening. Probably that could be avoided next time if you don't keep elaborate notes in front of you. You just put trigger points and then place it for all of us. If you just put trigger points on the, just like a list. So if you say example of snake and rope, that's all. Nothing else is there. You look at it and you have to talk about it.
Got it.
So example of person getting angry. Or example, angry person. So just trigger points. Then we will not even, feel drawn to read. And also it becomes, you feel a sense of liberation. You are liberated from your script. It's there in front of you. You can use it to jog your memory, but it is not going to control.
Thank you, Gayatri ji. Well said. And we'll keep that in mind. And going forward, maybe we'll do that. We'll have some.
Otherwise, excellent talk. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vaniji. Thank you, Padmaja ji. And for the next speaker from Siddhanti, Rahulji is not here. I think then we can go with the next person. Chandraji will be speaking on Jiva-Jagat-Ishwara. Chandraji, would you like to go next?
My pranams to Narasimha Prabhuji and to all my Atmajyotis. The topic is Jiva, Jagat and Ishwara. Jiva means Jivati iti Jiva. So, Jiva means that which lives is Jiva, and also which breathes, which complains, and which accepts space. So, Jiva is only for human incarnation. It is not for Vedanta Shastra is not for animals because they don't complain or they don't have any questions. In human body alone, one can complain so repeatedly, and also it individual is endowed with a body-mind complex. So Jiva has many complaints, many questions, and also individual has the ability to achieve things. So it can have like when it comes to Jiva, it has a greedy, anxiety, uncertainty, and also it is centered on I. So one has to have Jiva to to fulfill all the desires. So that is about Jiva. And Jagat is Jiva is not by itself alone. So it has to deal with other Jivas. So where everybody meets, like other Jivas meet, that is called a Jagat, which means entire universe, where all kinds of things happen there. And one Jiva can can achieve whatever they want, so that they can recognize themselves. In Jagat itself, they can recognize. And also a person who is a performer of an action. So when a person he does an action to reap the results, that is where in the Jagat only it is possible. So Jagat is a kshetra where Jiva to recognize itself as a karta and to have an opportunities to do many things. Like for example, in the playground, everybody, we can meet so many Jivas. So we'll share all the whatever things, maybe the problems or the pains, or so that is where the Jagat is needed. So that is Jagat. And when it comes to Ishwara, so Ishwara is everywhere. It is an intelligence of knowledge and the source of a conscious being in everybody, in each and every living or non-living things. So Ishvara is present there. And many other religions, they have their own beliefs in God. Like they have different sources. So that is where we say Ishvara. So Ishvara is only where we can feel that experience, we can experience. So we cannot show God to everybody, but God is present everywhere. So it is not to shown, it can be only felt. So it is a kind of energy where Ishvara is present in everybody. So, and for Ishvara, the example is, as Guruji says, pot is an example. Pot is nothing but a clay. So he gives it as example. It can be made, different varieties of things can be made out of clay. But the clay is the cause, main thing. So like that, Ishvara is present in everywhere. So that is what, whatever I know, I've spoken. Thank you so much.
Okay, 30 seconds more, but then, so that's 4.5 minutes.
Thank you, Chandraji. And for the Purva Pakshi, Jayashri ji, you have any questions for Chandraji?
Anyone has questions for her? You can go with self-evaluation, Yashmita.
Yeah, sure, Purnima ji. Chandraji, if you can go with self-evaluation, how the talk went.
Yeah, I was nervous a bit, lacking little confident. That's what I felt.
Okay, and anything that you thought went well according that you planned and it was executed well? Chandraji, you can hear us, is it? I'm not able to hear you.
What, ma?
What went well according to you in the talk?
That audience should tell. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the definitions came out well, but yeah, somewhere I felt that the connectedness of the talk was missing. But maybe because you were nervous, like you were taking that breaks. But yeah, anything more you want to add, Purnima ji, Vani ji?
I will leave Vani ji for the evaluation.
Chandraji, can you turn on your video if you don't mind? Thank you. So I think that was a good attempt. And I'm sure you would listen to the reference talk, right? Which was given to you. Yeah, so you would have listened to the reference talk and you based it on the reference talk. Did you have a list in front of you with the main points?
Main points I had.
You
I had main points. Yeah.
So you can use that as a guideline in case when you get nervous, you forget some point or you forget the order. For that, a list is useful. And
Okay.
I think if you do that, as you become more comfortable, it is sure to become easier for you. You have language flow, you have understood. It is mainly that you should start feeling comfortable in sharing. So I think that will come as you go on.
Next time I'll do better.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a very good attempt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vani ji. Thank you, Chandraji. For the next speaker, we have Indra ji, who will be talking about nithya-anitya viveka. Yes.
Can I start?
Indra, I will show a yellow background for 5 minutes and
Okay.
a red background for 6. All right.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Hari Om all. My topic is nithya-anitya viveka. This is one of the quality required for someone seeking liberation. Nithya means permanent or eternal. Anitya means temporary or impermanent. In olden days, there was a practice which rishis followed. This is neti-neti. It is the elimination of process of dropping what is anitya, that is impermanent, is neti-neti. Whatever is in the range of our experience is anitya. There is something above all and beyond all, that is nitya, and it is witness or atman or brahman. Even in deep sleep, there is nitya. It is always there as witness. So what is the benefit of the vichara of nitya and anitya? Whenever we experience, whatever we experience in this world is creating an impact on us. Suppose, say, we lose 100 rupees, we might take it as a charity. But how? That understanding that is anitya. Not that we should lose things and become careless,
but we should bear this transience in the mind. This can reduce the 90% of the problems in life. So whenever we face a dilemma, we should understand from the angle of nithya or anitya. At times of difficulty, this vichara of nithya and anitya will help us not get crushed by the burden of the problem. One neither needs to fly so high in the sky when there is some happiness, or sit down and weep when there is difficulty. So there is nothing worth being too happy, or there is nothing that extreme sorrow. Then shall we not have good life or use good things or good food because everything is impermanent? It is not that. It is leaving anitya means we'll have good food, use good things in life, but we'll not hold on to the things, or will not do anything wrong to grab them. We have to realize that the real happiness is not in having more things. Rather, reducing our wants at all times is what will make us happier. Seeing things as impermanent will make us more charitable. So we have to realize that everything is anitya and going to go. What remains is I, and I am witness, or I am eternal. What may come, I will not be affected by it in any way. So how should we implement the vichara of nithya-anitya in day-to-day life? So like how Guruji says, whatever we do in life, there is a purpose. So the purpose of life is to be happy and to be free from all the sufferings. And we have many goals for being happy. Say, suppose if a student is asked, he'll say, I'll get a good marks and I'll be happy with that. So even that is achieved, the next goal will be to get a good job. Even that, so there's some sort of happiness in that. Suppose when that is also achieved, the next goal will be to have more property or get married. So the goal keeps going. We get confused with goals and the purpose. That shouldn't be the thing. So there is no happiness achieved with a goal. Maybe each goal satisfaction can give some happiness, but permanent happiness is not achieved by any goal. See, suppose if the goal is not achieved, then it shouldn't be that is the end of us. We must be conscious that is anitya. So distinguishing between nithya and anitya, reminding ourselves of the real nature, which is nithya, present in all the three states, waking, dream, and deep sleep, should be practiced with an awareness that which is what is good for us. The clear knowledge at the back of our mind that things are impermanent will allow us to not get crushed by any failure or to be under pressure. Everything is changing. We can't get any happiness from the changing things. Unchanging I is the only reality. And by using the proper discrimination of nithya and anitya, we can reduce the noise in the mind and be very peaceful while operating in the world also. So like how day to day, the simple thing what we follow is sit silently in a place at the end of the day. And if we reflect what we've done the whole day, and we can discriminate what is anitya. And by doing this regularly, the mind, the noise of the mind can come down. We have to cultivate this viveka and a constant watch over what we should do and what we should not do. And striving to lead a life of service can get us a real satisfaction and joy. Hari Om.
That was 5 minutes, so that's fine.
Yeah, thank you, Indraji. Any questions for Indraji? Okay, so no questions. Indraji, would you like to go with self-evaluation?
Yeah, I think from next time, I think like how Vaniji said, I can keep a notes instead of having the full details written. We tend to read even if we know it properly. Also, we tend to go and see the notes. So maybe if the points are there, I can be more. I'll not see much into the notes. I think that was.
He will eat roti only. Richita is not here. No.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thanks, Indraji. Yeah, I really like the talk, the attempt. Like it was very well structured and it had like proper introduction and conclusion and lot of examples for us to take it away from the talk and how we can implement it. So it was a nice talk and it was well within the time. And as you said, the notes is one thing that you've already noticed. So that's good. And anything more to add, Purnima ji, Vani ji?
I'll leave it to Vaniji. I'm kind of distracted with this timekeeping, so I'll
Yeah.
leave all the evaluation for Vaniji. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was very well structured, like Ashmita said. So fluency was great. And you already noticed the point yourself about not having a full script, so not being tempted to read.
Okay.
Then one content-wise, there can be a little more emphasis on reducing desires versus detachment from BMI identity.
Okay.
When you are disidentified from BMI, then you yourself brought out many of the points really well. That achieving goal after goal in the changing world doesn't give you lasting happiness. So that was brought out excellently. What could as well have been given along with that a little more emphasis is, if I'm not attached to the identity of body, mind, and intellect, automatically whether whether desires are fulfilled or not, or desires there or not, are not there, desires will start dropping. I don't have to control desires, or
Yeah.
I don't have to reduce the wants.
Okay.
Ahankara goes, mamakara goes. Ahankara reduces, mamakara reduces. More detached I am from the BMI identity. Wants will start, needs will start coming down. My dependence on fulfilling desires for happiness will come down. So just slight shift of emphasis will add a lot more value to whatever you already spoken. Because structure, examples were all great.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaniji. Thank you, Andraji. And the last speaker for the day is Sumaji. Yeah, Sumaji's topic is sathya-mithya viveka.
Sure. Can I get started?
Just a moment. Purnimaji, can Sumaji start? Yes.
Yeah, Hari Om everyone. My topic for today is sathya-mithya viveka. In short, satya means real, mithya means unreal, and viveka is discrimination between what is satya and what is mithya. So now let's get into the details of satya. So if you go into the detail, satya is something that exists. So what existed in the past, what is existing in the present, and what will exist in the future. So that is satya. Satya is like self-existent. And from the Upanishad, the famous verse, atma-anatma, it is the essence of the whole universe, is the very existence principle. So for example, in my own experience, I'm giving this talk presently. So in the past, I would have given some presentations or some talk at my workplace regarding work-related topics. And I have some presentations scheduled next week, at my workplace. So if you look at, I here, I existed in the past, I am existing right now, giving the talk, and then I will be existing in the future next week, unless something happens to me drastically. So I am here, I am Mr. Sat. So that is one example. And then now let's get into the details of mithya. Mithya is unreal. Unreal is something which is not false, something that is not real and not false. Basically, because when you tell unreal, what happens is it doesn't exist in all the periods past or present or future. It might exist at one point, but might not exist at all the time frames. So for example, like mirage in a desert. So mirage, like it will appear to exist till you go and examine it closely. And now, like if we go to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 5, like Bhagavan tells, Nachamakstani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta brahmacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Here, like when you see that bhuta bhavanaha, it is like he's the projector of the world, bhuta brahma, sustainer of the projection, and swallower of the whole universe, included time and space. Now, like if we apply this, right, mamatma bhuta bhavana, bhuta brin, if we apply the same thing to our experience, I am as a waker, I create this dream world. But I do not depend upon the dream world, but dream world cannot exist without me. So, but yet I existed without the dream world. This is like the sathya-mithya relationship. So basically the world that appears in my waking state, it will disappear in my deep sleep state. So the world is like constantly changing, and I am the witness of the world, never changes. Hence, I am the satya and the world is mithya. So now like I'll give you one more example. So sometimes during the mornings, you can see like a lot of fog actually in the sky. Here, at least like, some days we can't literally see anything in front of us. So when you go out, you start driving slowly, you notice like the road exists. So it is like a kind of mithya appearance. We think like, oh, there is no roads or no cars coming unless you start driving and then you keep going. So that is like mithya. And another example is like, for example, this keyboard, it exists in front of me. So when I look at it, it is satya for me. But when you go into the details, how is this keyboard made up of? So they use some metals to make it like iron or whatever, steel, everything. So now this keyboard is just a form actually. And then like so keyboard becomes mithya, and then the metals that is used to make these keyboards like iron or steel, they become satya. So this is like another example. And a very famous example, the gold ornaments, where the forms can change. The bangles can become necklace can become bangles. So all this is like the ornaments itself, it's like mithya, but what is it made up of? The gold, the metal, the gold is the one which is satya. So now the discrimination why is the discrimination between satya and mithya important? Sometimes we have so much of bad dreams, like, we just end up suddenly getting up, sweating, nervous, and in the middle of the night we get up and we realize, it is just a dream, it is just a mithya. And once we realize it is just a mithya, we tend to forget that and move on with our daily activities. So the same thing if we apply to our real life, in our real life, we would have had so many bad incidents or something that happened in the past. And then like, it's very hard to forget. Even if we tend to forget, it will be in some unmanifest form in one corner of our mind. And then it will try to pop up in our waking world or the dream world. So if you think like all these bad things, it is just like mithya events. And if we tend to forget and move on, it will help everyone, help ourselves and all the people around us. So in conclusion, the entire universe consisting of mere name and form is mithya and atma is the satya. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Sumaji. Any questions for Sumaji? Guess no.
Purva Paksha is lacking today for some reason.
Yeah, Shumaji, would you like to go with self-evaluation?
Sure. Actually, like I'm not from Vedanta background. So when this topic was given to me, I didn't even know the meaning of Mithya, believe me. So I had to do like a lot of research. I watched Prabhuji's video. I did a lot of online research and I learned a lot of things and I really enjoyed it actually. Like it was like totally like every word was kind of like new and it was a very good experience. And the good part was like in our Bhagavad Gita class, in Purnamaji's class, this time we are doing like chapter 9. So that shloka also helped me with this actually to give one of the example. It was really nice. I think I did good. So I don't know. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a very lively talk, but you mentioned there was no background of Vedanta, but it was
Yeah, yes.
fresh perspective to Vedanta and all the examples were well connected and rooted in Vedanta. It was a very nice talk.
Yeah, it was some examples from Prabhuji's video talk and some articles looking at and reading through, and then just applying those examples to my real life and looking around things around me and like, oh, okay, this is what it is, and trying to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, but anything more, Vaniji?
It's amazing. She's having a crash course in Vedanta, side by side with the JJ. And your research was very thorough because we didn't feel any lack of Vedantic knowledge. And you were able to communicate all the truths with very relevant examples in a structured way and very fluently, with very comfortably also.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing talk. Very nice.
So you spoke about the mist and the fog. So tell us where you live.
Yeah.
Actually, I live in St. Louis. Right now, it's very cold. It's like, I don't know, I am telling the temperature in Fahrenheit, 34 degree Fahrenheit. And it's kind of like super cold. And some days it's like you literally can't see anything while driving. The fog will be so much in the morning. Yeah.
Amazing, Suma. Very nice.
Excellent talk, Suma. So proud of you, really. All the beautiful examples came out and you were so natural and you had notes, but I
have the notes of that
points.
Bhagavad Gita verse and some points.
Very good. Very good. So nice. Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think we've done with all the speakers for today. We can conclude the session. We'll go with the closing prayers. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om, everyone, and thank you all for joining today's session, and happy Kannada Rajyotsava to everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent session. Really amazing session.
Thank you.
And everybody has done a great job. And very good coordination. And Purnimaji also very good mentorship.
You can stop YouTube also.